Drop your light. Ready to go? Going live. Now, yeah.
Good morning and welcome to UUCC, the Unitarian Universalist Church of Canandaigua. We are a group of spiritual free thinkers who gather to celebrate life, build community, and better our world. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. I'm Carrie Graff, your worship associate this morning, and our service will be led by Val Cunningham today. This is her first time giving one, so lots of support for Val. We also have, as you can tell behind the piano today, is either a de-bearded Bill Miles with dyed hair, or instead, it is Scott Wright. So we get our unofficial 10th day of the Rochester Jazz Festival down here, because he is a jazz pianist, so we're very excited to have him here with us today. So the service is also being live streamed to our YouTube channel, and we're going to continue our hybrid services where you can come in person, you can watch it live on Zoom, or you can watch it later recorded on YouTube. If this is your first visit, welcome. I don't think anybody's a first visit here, but maybe, oh yeah, we do have a first visitor, great. Welcome. We invite anybody who's new to sign in the guest book at the entryway so we can greet you properly and know who the heck you are. But if this is your first time here or your 1,000th time here, and we do have a few of those, you are very welcome. I have a few announcements to share with you today. We no longer have to wear masks, which is great. It still says on my form, please wear a mask, but nope, that is not true. However, if you are particularly vulnerable or you live with somebody who's vulnerable or you're worried in any way, we do have masks in the entryway and feel free to use them. I actually don't know if we have RE in childcare today, but we have no kids, so it does not matter. Okay. We will be collecting the cards for joys and sorrows after the first hymn, so you'll see little cards next to you. So if you have a joy or a sorrow that you would like to share, if you could write those down, we'll collect those after the first hymn. And if you're joining us from home, you can write them into the chat box, and they will write them out quickly for me and send them to me so I can read them up front. Whether you've got something that you keep in your heart or you share with us, we are with you with those. Okay. Are there any other announcements for the good of the community this morning? Well, the last note is, as we prepare to fully be together today, I remind you to silence your cell phones or anything else that beeps or bings. We now enter a space of worship. I invite you to join with me and sing our chalice sliding words as our chalice is lit. We gather this hour as people of faith, with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning, celebration of the life we share together.
My name is Val Cunningham. I'm fairly new to the church myself, so it's not every day you get the new guy doing the leadership, so bear with me.
We're a small church. This is how it works here.
Bing, you're it. Come into the space with all of yourself, virtually or embodied together. Bring your joy and your wonder, your love and your praising. Bring also your hurting and hardened and broken hearts. Bring your tender doubts, your fears, and your sorrow. Come into the space, you, just as you are. In case you're still thinking I'm talking about someone else, and your particular broken parts and soft places aren't really what I mean, let me be clear. You are welcome here. You, your whole being, is welcome here. Your whole, beautiful, breakable, wondrous, and messed up, holy, and profane being. That's a lot. You, just as you are, all of you are, even those sticky, squeaky, hurting, hard to find because they've been buried so deep for so many years, parts of you. You with the wide open hearts, and even you with the stuck shut hearts, longing to creak and crack open just a bit, you are invited to this celebration. Enter in, and may we discover that a community full of other whole and holy beings have shown up too.
Please join us in our first hymn. It's number 126.
Dreams of
We are a community that holds one another in our celebrations and in our pain. We welcome you to share your joys and sorrows by writing them down on the card next to you, found on the chair, placing it in the basket when it comes by you, or typing it in the chat box if you are at home on Zoom. And know that whatever your heart is holding today, whether shared or not, we are with you.
I'm bringing us a reading written by Joan Vieira Duval. Here is where you can lay it down. Lay down all that you have carried, the weight of the world that has rounded your back, leaving you aching and exhausted. Here is where healing begins. Where burdens are set down and alongside one another's, their magnitude does not seem as great. Here is where the door is thrown open and the light can lift away the shadows and what is hidden can now be seen. Here is where you can rest, where nothing is expected, but that you bring all of who you are into the presence of the holy and of this loving community. Nice.
Now is the time in our service to join together in the spiritual practice of generosity. Our gifts of both time and money support our church and its work. Each week we'd like to spotlight a group or committee and thank them for their gift of time, but I have no idea which group we're going to highlight today. So I would just like to thank everybody who volunteers in any way, in any capacity at this church. Because everybody brings what's special about them in some way to the church, and that's what I love about it. So 1/4 of our plate collection for the summer season goes to Camp Unirondack. Founded in 1951 by the Universalists, Unirondack is a radically inclusive camp and conference center with a mission to provide an environment that inspires people to explore responsible roles in the web of life through physical, mental, and spiritual challenges. You can give to this morning's offering by placing cash or a check into the basket as it goes around, or by one of the options on your screen if you're joining us from home. Please make a note that your gift is intended for today's offering. We now gratefully accept the offering. So I have two joys in my hand today. I have joy for all the beautiful young trees planted in the village of Lima along 5 and 20. I did not know that. I'll have to make a drive out that way. And for someone, after 64 applications and 17 interviews, I finally have a job offer. So that's great news. I like to lift up my own joy. I went last night to the jazz festival, and it was fabulous. So I now drop a stone in the column of water for these joys or any other joy or sorrow that is held unspoken in our hearts. Whatever is in your heart today, we are with you. All right, we can skip the child care since, unless somebody wants to go outside and play. If somebody wants to go outside and play, we can sing you out, but you can join us for the rest of the service. So maybe we'll skip the Go Now in Peace, and we'll move on to the responsive reading? Is that the one? Yeah.
I don't know, I thought it was usually on the screen, but hopefully you know this by heart. It's our responsive reading. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth.
The quest for truth is its sacrament and service is its prayer.
To dwell together in peace.
To seek knowledge and freedom.
To serve humanity in fellowship.
To the end that all souls shall grow into harmony.
With the source and meaning of life.
Thus do we covenant with each other and with all.
Thank you. This is my wing it for censure and share silence. So maybe sit up straight, put your back right tight into that chair, find yourself a way to relax, do some shoulder shifts, maybe roll the neck, find yourself in a really comfortable body sense. And then we'll just share some silence. Okay, now I think that we're going to have a meditation now. Here's another reading that I selected by John Saxon. The Spirit is calling. Listen. Can you hear it? The Spirit is calling. It calls us in the silence and through the noise and busyness of our daily lives. It calls us in the brightness of the day and the darkness of the night. In times of hope and despair, listen. Can you hear it? The Spirit is calling. It's calling to you and to me. It's calling us to greater wholeness, greater connection, greater service, greater love. It's calling us to heal the brokenness within ourselves, in others, and in the world. It's calling us to live more deeply. It's calling us to beauty. It's calling us to laugh and dance and sing. It's calling us to live through life's pain and sorrow. It's calling us to live courageously and kindly, to speak our truth in love, and to bend the moral arc of the universe toward justice. It's calling us into community. It's calling us into greater life of all. Listen. Can you hear it? The Spirit is calling.
So now we've got a closing hymn. Sorry. Normally after a little bit of a sermon, we have some reflective music, but apparently that's not, it was part of the summer service, so I was confused. So anyway, the closing hymn is
You want me to play for a while?
yes. Who would like Scott to play for a while? Yes. Okay, I will sit back down and then we'll do our closing hymn.
Closing hymn?
No.
No, just play for
Yeah, just play for us.
Love it.
Yeah. Just like- There is a lot to love about this little church, but the music is like right up there. So please join us in singing the closing hymn number 159. And then Scott's going to stay and play afterwards, we hope.
I am?
For a little bit. please join me in the words for extinguishing our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.